Gang, this is Mike with My Real Estate Dojo, and today's lesson is about how to give a soft offer to a motivated seller so you can get the deal, but more importantly, so you don't spend so much time doing your due diligence, driving around, looking at properties all over the phone. So let's dive in and get started, gang. Alright, today's lesson is about how to give a soft offer to a motivated seller and why it's so important for you to be able to give soft offers to a motivated seller. So what is a soft offer? A soft offer is like a physics equation. For example, mass times acceleration equals force. So again, force equals mass times acceleration. And in physics class, I remember always being able to solve the formula a lot easier than putting the numbers into the equation. Let me give you an example. If you want to solve what force is, force equals mass times acceleration, it's pretty easy to understand that. But now if you instantly substitute mass for a number, acceleration for a number, now these numbers become more complex to solve, okay? So same thing with the offer that you give to a seller. If you're talking about the numbers, the actual numbers, hey, Mr. Seller, I'm going to give you X dollars and this, then it just causes too much problems or wrinkles in the equation. So what I like to do, I like to zoom out like we did in physics class and just talk about the formula, which is, in this case, my offer to the seller. So I don't really put numbers when I give a soft offer to a seller. Now, when am I giving a soft offer? When I talk to a motivated seller over the phone, okay, I always offer them the superhero closing with a soft offer. And the soft offer's mission is to basically test the seller and see how he flinches. For example, if I go like this and the guy goes this way, the next time I know to come around with the hook because that's the way he flinches or that's the way he's going to protect himself. So the same thing happens with an offer. Okay, before you go out there and throw the punch, before you go and give the seller the cash offer or your term offer, you want to do a fake, and see how the seller reacts to the stimulus or to the fake punch. Are they going to go like this? Are they receptive? Etc. So coming back to the story, a soft offer is where we tell the seller what we can do for them, okay, if their home qualifies, okay, without giving them the actual numbers. Let me give you some examples, okay? If I'm talking to a motivated seller and I'm going through my superhero closing, now if you don't know what my superhero closing is, refer back to my previous videos on what is the superhero closing. So now I'm talking to a seller and I'm giving them my superhero closing. I'm going to throw some soft offers, okay, on, for example, on my terms, on my cash. So if I'm talking to a seller and I've gone through the list of, different options the seller has. For example, you can list traditionally, you can rent your house out, etc. And then I get to the point where I'm going to give them an actual cash offer. And instead of me giving them an actual number where I have to roll up my sleeve, go do the comps, get the CMA, etc., I just let the seller know, hey, Mr. Seller, I'm an investor. I'm not a retail buyer. I don't live in these properties, okay? So this is not my dream home. So for my cash offer, I buy properties at a deep discount. If I could buy your house at a deep discount, would that work for you? And basically what I'm doing is throwing the fake punch and see how the seller reacts. Because without me telling them, hey, your house is worth 100 and I could only give you 50, I'm not going to put the numbers in there. Remember that math equation, the formula. Force equals mass times acceleration. It's a lot easier to find what force is or F is than if you add the numbers into the equation, okay? Same thing with the seller. Instead of telling, hey, Mr. Seller, your home's worth 100 and I could only give you 50, I just give them a soft offer with no numbers, just the formula. So I tell them, hey, I'm not going to live in this home. This is not my dream home. I'm an investor. I'm only looking to make a profit. And my offer for cash would be I would be buying your house at a deep discount. If I could do that, would that work for you? And usually the seller's going to say, well, what is the number, this and this, and they want more information. And I'll let them know, hey, I haven't rolled up my sleeve, okay? I'm like the pawn shop of the real estate. And for my cash offer, I don't pay full retail price. I buy properties at a deep discount. If I could do that, would that work for you? So what I'm doing is I'm testing them out to see if they're receptive of selling their home below retail price, okay? Because I'm an investor, I'm not paying retail price, you know, and I'm looking to buy properties at a deep discount. So with the soft offer, I'm testing the seller to see if they're receptive with my offer before I take so much time and energy running comps, before I go out there and look at the property, before I figure out what the repair cost is, etc. Same thing with terms, okay? When I'm talking to a seller and I want to buy their home subject to or owner financing or on a wrap, I don't exactly tell them what I'm going to give them. I don't say, okay, sir, you know, your house is worth $100. I'm going to give you $80,000 cash, and instead of cash, we're going to do a note, and I'm going to give you this much down and this much a month. I don't tell them the exact number. So what I do is to test the seller, to see how he flinches, okay, I'll let him know, hey, once I'm going through the superhero closing, I'm saying, hey, you could sell your house to a realtor, you could do property management, you could do the cash offer, etc., etc., etc. And then when I get to the terms, I'll let the seller know, hey, Mr. Seller, you know, if I could give you some money today and pay you every month, would that work for you? And basically what that question is what I call a soft offer. I don't tell the seller how much I'm going to give them down, nor do I tell them how much I'm going to pay them every month. I'm just throwing it out there and allowing the seller's reaction. I say, hey, Mr. Seller, if I give you some money today and pay you every month, would that work for you? In a nutshell, I'm basically negotiating an owner financing deal. I'm basically negotiating a subject to deal, because if the seller is receptive, if the seller's like, yeah, that sounds good, okay, but how much are you going to give me? At that time, I say, okay, why don't I roll up my sleeves, do the comps, and then get back with you. And what that does is allows me to know, hey, if the seller's receptive to my cash offer, if the seller's receptive to my term offer or owner financing offer. So in a nutshell, simply put, guys, pay attention, it's very important. When I talk to a motivated seller, in the beginning phase, before I even tell which option I'm going to go with, I'm only giving soft offers. I'm not giving the actual numbers. I'm not taking time to go look at their home. I'm not taking time to do the repair cost. I'm not doing any of that. I'm just letting them know what I can do for them in a soft offer, and I'm watching their reaction. If they're not okay with a deep discount, if they say, hey, I don't want to sell my home deep, well, they're probably not going to go with that option. If they say, hey, I don't want to go with your terms, I don't want any money down or monthly payment, well, more than likely they're not going to be down with the terms, okay? But if they say questions like, well, how much are you going to give me down? Well, okay, I'm willing to sell it for a deep discount. Well, what is the actual price? Okay? If they give me signals or signs that they're receptive, then I'm going to roll up my sleeve, run the comps, get the repair cost, and then I may go to the seller's home at that time and look at the property, okay? But I usually like to get the deals all over the phone. I don't even like to go drive out there until I send them the contract, get the contract filled out. But I'm a professional, guys. If you're new, then I highly recommend you go out there and look at every property. So let's summarize this up, because this is a very, very important point. Just like mathematics, to figure out the answer with force equals mass times acceleration, it's a lot easier to use variables like the M, A, F to represent a huge number. And then you move those variables around. So if you want to find what acceleration is, you just move the M over to the left, etc., and you find what acceleration is. Or if you want to find what the mass is, then you move the F over here, so you figure out what the force is or the mass is. Same thing with giving an offer to the seller. I'm not going to put all the numbers into the formula. I'm just going to use the formula, just like F equals mass times acceleration, to figure out force. I'm just going to give them a soft offer. Instead of giving them a number, I'm just giving them a variable like X. And if they're okay with X, even though they don't know what X is, then I'll go ahead and define what X is down the line once I do my due diligence. This way it saves me a lot of time. It allows me to help the seller out and create a win-win situation, because the truth of the fact is, if the seller doesn't want to sell it at a deep discount, you're not going to be able to convince them, guys. And it's not like this business is a spontaneous transaction where you convince the seller and they give it to you. No, there's a lot of grace period. You know, they might take 30 days before the deal goes closing. So if you convince a seller, which it probably doesn't happen. But if you can, you have the ability, you're such a great salesperson, then in that grace period before the deal closes, the seller's going to have buyer's remorse or seller's remorse. And he or she's going to try to back out of the contract. And that's not the way I like to do business. I like to help the seller out. And if I can't help them and they don't feel like I'm helping them, fuck it. I'm going to the next deal because I really want to create a win-win situation. I only want to put my time and energy on people that I'm actually helping out. If they don't feel like it's a win for them, fuck it. I don't want to do the deal. I'm not that hungry for the fucking money. I'm going to go to the next seller that appreciates what I'm going to do for them, that actually thinks it's a win-win situation, and I'm going to solve their problem and create a win-win. So it's a win for them, it's a win for me. They're not feeling seller's remorse or buyer's remorse. I'm not feeling that either, and they're really happy to deal with me, with Mike, with Mr. Investor. Gang, now I've told you how to do a soft offer. It's such a powerful tool. Combine that with my superhero closing, then man, and then you're going to be a superhero closer, guys, because you're creating a win-win situation for the seller. You're not focused on the cheese or the money. You're really trying to help people out, and you really want it to be a good situation where when they sell you the home, they're happy. They don't feel seller's remorse or buyer's remorse, and they're going to actually go be a raving fan. They're going to go tell their friends. They're going to tell their family, maybe 2 years from now, maybe 3 years from now. Basically, what you're doing is you're planting seeds, guys, and you're not the type of guy that's just cutting down trees. You're planting seeds. And sometimes you're not going to get as many deals as possible than if you do business shady or if you do business not ethically. But you know what? Fuck it. In my mindset, I don't give a fuck about money. I care about the way I feel, because if I feel good, I could go conquer the world. If I feel bad, I can't conquer even myself. So I don't want to put myself in any situation where I'm feeling bad because I'm doing unethical business. And I highly recommend that to my students, is because when you bring somebody up, you're going to be the one that's be brought up. In the day, you're going to profit big because, A, you feel good. 2, the vibrations are coming to you of that positivity, guys. This is Mike with Mr. Investor with my Real Estate Dojo. Go out there and hustle and bustle. Don't take no for an answer. And fuck anybody that doesn't believe in you. Fuck anybody that says you can't do it. And fuck anybody that does not encourage you to chase your dream. Fuck a TV. Read a fucking book. Talk to you later, gang. Have a great day.